my pleasure to turn things over tonight to a man who has really been a humongous leader in the industry and in several different companies, been a top earner in all the companies that he's been in, made millions of dollars. And I'll tell you, there's so many of us that have learned so much from this man. He's done a lot of trainings all over. He's been all over the world and has really spoken. I know I've got CDs and recordings of him in my iTunes and everything that I still listen to and still get the chance of enjoying learning from this man, Mr. Sherman Unkafer. And it's my pleasure, Sherman, to have you going ahead and take things over and take us to our next step of what we're doing tonight.
Thank you, AJ, for introduction. I too would like to welcome everyone on the call tonight. It's an extraordinary opportunity to introduce our featured speaker. This is a gentleman that I've known for, I guess, going back now 17 years or so. We have traveled the world together. We have been in throughout Europe. We've traveled in Australia, New Zealand, Asia, South Africa, almost every continent on earth, virtually. And I've gotten to know this gentleman very well. He's a good friend, a colleague. I've got to tell you that when they decided to put together M, I knew about it in November, and we chatted and so on. And when they had their open house in February, I went there and I congratulated them. Good luck, blah, blah, blah. I was kind of preoccupied with another venture at the moment, and we did not get involved, oddly enough. But about 4 weeks ago, something extraordinary happened. And that was the old company that I was with. We sold our business there 2.75 years ago, and that company no longer exists anymore. After 15 years, they bit the dust, and that got my attention. I noticed that M began to talk about their mangosteen-based product, and of course now there is an extreme interest on the part of people out there to find a new source of mangosteen. And four of the founders of M included Ryan Anderson, the CSO, Kerry Brown, the CEO, Nate Farnsworth, Scott Miller, that came from another company. But all of these gentlemen are very well thought of in the industry, respected with the companies that they've been with. And then the frosting on the cake was that Dr. J. Frederick Templeman accepted the position to be the chairman of the medical advisory board for M. And he, as a medical doctor, is probably the preeminent authority in the world, writing books, traveling to Southeast Asia dozens and dozens of times where the original research and agricultural production of the mangosteen takes place. So when I saw all of that, I said, wow, this is the perfect storm. And we made a decision 4 weeks ago to get involved. And I've got to say, we're a little bit slow on the uptake. We missed a terrific opportunity, but that's kind of my story. You know, I'm a little bit slow to get started, but it's not how you begin, it's how you end the game that really counts.
Yeah.
And so we had an opportunity this past weekend to hear Ryan Anderson on a three-way call talk to a couple of key leaders, and he shared with them the vision of M. And I had not heard all of that before, and I thought to myself, wow, everyone needs to hear that story, because I think anyone that understands the vision of M, not only the product line, not only the credentials of the founders, not only the credentials of Dr. Templeman, but understands the long-term vision of M. It's an extraordinarily unusual beginning of a company, and it really got me motivated. And I've got to tell you that I'm traveling right now. I'm in Amarillo, Texas. My mother has had a heart attack, and she's 93 years old. So we're here spending several days with her. Thank God she's doing well, and hopefully she'll get past this challenge. But I'd like to introduce to everyone on the call Ryan Anderson. Ryan is probably the preeminent person to launch a company like this, has the personality, the makeup, the character to form a company that all of us can become the owners of. And so I'm going to ask Ryan to tell us a bit of that story, and then from time to time I may interject and ask a question or two. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ryan Anderson. Ryan.
Thank you so much, Sherman. It's a privilege to be with all of you guys tonight, or morning, wherever you're at, as AJ said. I just want to thank AJ and Jill for hosting this call tonight. And Sherman, thank you so much for the invitation to be able to come on. Like Sherman said, we've really traveled the world. We've been to mainland China, Hong Kong, Malaysia, Singapore. I've carried Sherman's bags. He's even carried my bags, New Zealand. I mean, we've been around the world together, and just the utmost respect and love for you and admiration, and thoughts and prayers go out to you and your family as your mom's quick road to recovery, in their 90s. That's fantastic. So anyway, so I just want to thank all of you guys coming out tonight, getting on this call. If you're listening to this for the very first time, I'm excited to share a little bit of the M story and why we started. If you're listening to this, you've been here before, welcome back. And I just want to start every one of these calls off with a great deal of gratitude to our members. We've had an amazing start. I think last month we paid out in commissions what a lot of companies would love to be doing at our age in total revenue. And I just want to say that all of that is because of, I believe we have world-class products. I believe that we have a very lucrative commission plan. I think we have a great culture, but we understand that none of that success would be happening if it wasn't for our members. And that's why I really like to start there tonight, because that's really about our story. I've been in and around this industry now pretty much my whole life. I am 102 years old, and because some of you guys are asking, I've been drinking the Coreo a little bit longer than some of you. I feel 130. Somebody was saying that it looked like I hadn't had much sleep. Thank you. My mom also says I have a face for radio, so I appreciate that. Maybe it was a good thing when my camera wasn't working, but we started out this company because of our love of the direct sales and network marketing industry, but really our discontent of where the industry had gone. And I found myself towards the end of 2015, the beginning of 2016, really frustrated and really wanting to get out of the industry. And I'm finding a lot lately, a lot of the conversations that we're having, that a lot of people were in that same situation or same boat. And I think that's why M is so appealing. But I was really frustrated because I love this industry. I love what it stands for. I love that I've seen the impact that it has on people's lives financially, physically, mentally, from a personal development perspective, bringing relationships together. I've got a lot of really great friends that found the love of their life in this industry, and families and children born and all of those things. But I didn't like the hype and smoke and mirrors that this industry had become. See, this industry now is over 120 years old. The Avon lady turned 120 years old this year with the direct selling industry. And although the principle of direct sales from relationship marketing is still there, it's all of the hype and smoke and mirrors and marketing schemes and products that cure everything and commission plans that you're going to get in. You're going to earn $10,000 your first month, and you're going to be a millionaire your first year. And all of those marketing schemes that really gets people into, bringing in with the false expectations. And this is a relationship business. It has been from the beginning, and it will always be a relationship business. And to me, relationships are built on trust. I have the utmost love and trust of Sherman Unkafer and AJ and Jill, and I'm seeing all of these other amazing leaders on the call tonight that I have love and respect for and admiration and a relationship with. And so at the end of 2015 and 2016, I didn't feel like I could stand in front of a room and talk about helping people find success in all of these marketing schemes and all of these different things. And so I really wanted to get out of the industry. I looked at real estate. I'd actually went down the path of buying a transportation company, tried to talk my wife into moving into a 1-bedroom bungalow with all 6 of us and get a goat. And she wasn't having that. Because she said the only reason why she married me is because she thought I had a big trust fund. Let's keep that on the down low if we could. And so really it was getting with, Sherman mentioned one of my business partners, Kerry Brown, who I love and respect. And if you guys haven't met him, you'll love him. He was a CMO, a chief marketing officer of a company out of Dallas, Texas that did over $800 million last year in total revenue in the direct sales world. And he was feeling the exact same way. And so we were having a conversation. He said, Brian, what if we could create a company and build an industry within an industry? And I was like, what are you talking about? And he said, think about this. He brought up the fact of Uber. And Uber today, he said, how did Uber within 9 years become the world's largest taxi and limousine service and be worth over $30 billion and not own a single vehicle? And I said, I don't know. How did they? And he said, what they did was they went out and they empowered the entrepreneur. They went out and they met the individuals where they were at. They didn't say you had to have a black car. They didn't say you had to dress a certain way. They didn't say that you had to work certain hours. They didn't say anything other than if you had an entrepreneurial spirit, you had resources to a vehicle, and you could plug into their app, they could create an opportunity for you. And so, they totally revolutionized the taxi and limousine service. He said, what if we could create that same opportunity and go out and do that? And he said, and something else, and as we started collaborating and talking, he said, if we are going to change and create a brand new industry, me and you, we can't do it. We have to create an environment where the members are the ones that are leading, the distributors, the affiliates, the IBOs, whatever you've used to in the past, we call them members. And that's what the M network stands for, is it's truly the members network. And every one of you, whether you've been with us from the very beginning or you're just joining us today, you should feel like this is as much your company as it is mine, as it is Sherman's, as it is AJ and Jill's, as it is Andy's, as it Cat Barnes. Cat's been here from the beginning. And so, whoever you are, you should feel like this is as much your company as it is ours. And I'll get into that in just a little bit, because at the end of this, we want our members driving sales. We want our members driving the marketing initiatives, and we don't want any corporate suits standing on stage. This is not about Ryan Anderson. This is not about Kerry Brown. This is about you. We want to highlight your stories. We want to build this company around you. You've been a part of companies in the past, perhaps, or you've seen other people be part of companies in the past. But with the M Network, it's our intent that it's as much your company as it is ours. And so we put things in place. We put things in place that down the road that right now, with Kerry and I and some of the other owners, that we hope, and that is our intent, that as we grow as a company, that our key employees and key members have as much, if not more, ownership of the company than we do. We truly believe that we're creating a legacy company. We are focused on ensuring that you are not just here building a check, but that you're here building a legacy. And so from that aspect, we have the members owning and leading and driving the network and owning that. And then for getting back to the Uber analogy, what we've done is we've created several different sales funnels and channels for you to be able to be successful. And what I mean by that is when we look at this industry, last year it did over $160 billion in total revenue, which is amazing. And that's more GDP than some countries. But the statistic that most companies don't talk about is that 70% of the individuals who join a direct sales or network marketing company never places a second order and never signs anybody up. And so I look at that $160 billion in revenue and I think to myself, That's just a constant churn and burn of our friends, our neighbors, our family, everybody that we come in contact with. I remember when I first got into the industry, they had what they called the arm's length rule. Now, every one of you are too young on here to remember this, but the arm's length rule was all about, anybody that came into arm's length, you had to talk to about your business. And that's why I believe a lot of people have a hard time in this industry, is because it's all built on not necessarily moving a product, but about recruiting people. And so what we've done is we've created several different sales funnels. The direct sales channel is the economic engine that drives all of these other sales funnels, but we have a retail component. I was on the phone earlier today, and then in the last 20 weeks, we have a member who's retailed products through his brick and mortar facilities $97,000 in stick products. And most of that $97,000 in sticks in the last 20 weeks has been individual sticks. He said he has one customer that spent over $1,300 in his salons, and out of the $1,300, $1,200 of it was on sticks. And so we have a retail component where people can buy in bulk below the wholesale pricing. They have to sell it at retail, so they're getting keystone pricing, but then they're getting a 5 to 10% rebate. And then with our commission structure, you have the ability to go all the way to the top of our pay plan and not recruit a single person. In fact, in our pay plan, you don't even have to have a personal purchase in order to get a paycheck. If you had 2 boxes of product moving through your business retail, that qualifies you for a commission check. And all of these sales funnels that I'm going to tell you, and I'll reiterate this at the end, all creates volume that feeds the tree. We always protect the tree. Again, the direct sales component is the economic engine that drives all of these other sales funnels. So we have retail. We have online. So we have the ability to have people come to your retail sites that you get through the M Network, or if you're somebody that's an online guru and you want to create your own, you have the ability to do that. But you're driving to your retail site and somebody can come make a product purchase on your retail site and not even know that they're buying from a direct sales or network marketing company, because we're not competing. Our prices of our products are not at that high direct sales model where people have to inflate the benefits of the products to justify the means to the cost. We're actually competing at the retail level. We have the retail brick and mortar, we have the retail online, we have social media. If you're passionate about social media, if you're passionate about fundraising, we have the ability. I don't know how many of you guys, and I'm going to see some smiles here on the computer, how many of you guys have actually bought those chocolate bars from the kids coming around, knocking on your door, that taste like the sole of your shoe, right? But it's this cute little kid that's little Jimmy's that's trying to get it for his soccer team. But you give him money for those chocolate bars. They're still sitting in your pantry today. I know that I've got a whole box of them sitting in there because the kid was too cute to tell no, right? And it was hot outside, so I bought the whole box. And the reality is that they sold the chocolate bar for $1. He earned 30 cents a bar. What if he could earn $1.50 a stick? We have fundraising programs so that if you want to be able to plug into that, and again, each and every one of these sales funnels creates the environment, then feeds the tree. All of that volume creates there. So fundraising, retail, online, social media. How many of you guys have ever been to a trade show before, or a booth, or a farmer's market? You have the ability to plug into that from there. We have a member out of Calgary that's done 3 different trade shows and averaged over $7,000 profit from 3 different trade shows with an average of $7,000. So again, and then we have a customer program where people can plug in and capture customers and build an organization that way. And so what we've done is we've taken the traditional direct sales model that's built around recruiting a team and recruiting people and leveraging other people's time and energy. And what we've said is that no matter what your strength is, no matter what your passion is, no matter what your economical status is, or regardless of where you live in this world, we've created an environment where you can plug in based on your strengths, your passions, your beliefs, and we've created an environment in which we can help you become successful. And I love that about our pay plan. I love that about our products. Our products are viral. And Sherman, I'm sure you're going to want to ask some questions around that. But we've done proof of concept with the products. We've done proof of concept with the culture. Everything that you guys see, know, and love about the M Network today, from the branding to the videos to the websites to the messaging to the events to the incentive trip to Cabo that's coming up, every one of those ideas came from our field leaders. Every one of those ideas came from our members. It's not corporate dictating what we feel like the field needs. This is a company and an organization that was built to support and empower and hopefully eventually transfer ownership to its field, to the members, so that you guys are the ones that are leading. You are the ones that are building the legacy. You're the one that's building the future. You're the ones that are creating an opportunity for us for the long term. And you know, we have two missions before I turn it back to you, Sherman. I'm sorry, I'm getting so excited. It's just fun to be able to talk to all of you guys. But every day we have two focuses. Every promotion, everything that we put together, and it's based on two. One is we want to create 1 million thousandaires. We want 1 million people through our organization earning $1,000 or more a month, 1 million families. And I believe that we can do that. Last month we're 5.5 months old already. We launched January 14th officially. We're 5.5 months. We had right around 200 people last month that earned $1,000 or more, and I'm seeing some of those smiley faces on here. And you know, and I love that. 200 is quite a ways away from 1 million, but that's our focus and our goal. Our second goal is that I'm looking on here and I'm seeing many, many leaders, and I love that. And I know that each and every one of you could go be a top leader at any company. But our focus is not just ensuring that each and every one of you becomes a leader, but our focus is that we want 3 generations from now walking across our stage as leaders. I want your children, your grandchildren, and even some of your great-grandchildren walking across our stage as leaders. Because of that focus, we're not focused on a year from down the road. We're not focused 5 years down the road. We're not focused 30 years down the road. We're focused on 3 generations down the road, because we want to create a true legacy company. And Sherman, you mentioned Dr. Templeman, Dr. John Frederick Templeman. A big part of him coming on board was to ensure the fact that we were creating a legacy company, building on a company on products that are not only do people, can they afford them, but they love the flavor of them, but you know, also the efficacy, ensuring that our products have that high quality of efficacy, so that we can get out of the fact telling and we can get into the storytelling and helping people to live better lives, not only financially, but as well as healthier as well. So Sherman, I know that was kind of a broad brushstroke of everything, but I'm happy to turn it back to you and ask any questions.
Well, I've got one big question.
Yes, sir.
Does that mean that we're not going to hear Ryan Anderson singing on stage?
You know, I can't even carry a tune in a bucket. Although I have a face for radio, I will never be singing on the radio. You know, and I know that that's somewhat facetious there a little bit, but again, you know, you've attended our open house event, and some of you that it's come to some of our other events. Every presentation, every speaker, everything on there, again, was members, because at the end of the day, it's not about Ryan Anderson. Yes, I want my children to grow up in this company. I want my last breath to be with this company. But at the end of the day, it's not about me. It never is going to be about me. It's going to be always about the members, because at the end of the day, I've never met one corporate person or one corporate owner that built a company. I've seen a lot of them have a front row seat, but never have I seen one build a company. It's always the members that are sitting in the living room, sitting in the coffee shops, being on the phone, just walking into businesses, representing the brand, representing the products, telling their stories, putting their hopes, their dreams, their passions on the line, and most importantly, their reputations. And I think a lot of companies, and I think that's the reason why I was frustrated with the industry, and I think that's the reason why a lot of industry veterans are frustrated with the industry, is that companies forget that it's not their reputation on the line, it's their members' reputations on the line. And I can guarantee you, having a front row seat to watching this growth and being a part of this company, we as a company will never take for granted that it's your reputations on the line. And we want to always protect that.
Ryan, just one other point I'd like to ask you about. When we were talking over the weekend and I was hearing this story for the first time, it kind of hit me right between the eyes, because most of these companies, including the big A, become multi-billion dollar corporate entities, do not share a dime of the profits of the company with anybody or ownership with anybody. And when you said that this company will be owned, from your perspective in the long term, will be essentially owned by the members, the leaders that build the company. Could you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. And so, I believe that it's one thing to go to a job, or it's one thing to be a member of an organization or distributorship. It's absolutely, that's fun. It's exciting to be able to do that. But at the end of the day, there's something about having ownership. There's something about being a part of, hey, this is my company. And I know a lot of people over the years have felt like the organizations that they were involved with was their company. But at the end of the day, it wasn't them making the decisions. At the end of the day, like you said, it wasn't them participating in the profitability of the company. And although they were responsible for generating the profits for the company, they weren't able to participate in that. And so I want each and every one of you to understand and know, and I know that this is being recorded, and I'm excited about that because I have nothing to hide. I want each and every one of you to feel like as you're putting your heart, your soul, your passion, your dreams, your reputation into building this, that you're not just building a commission check, that you're not just putting your DNA into somebody else's company, that at the end of the day, it is our intent and goal to share the profitability of this company with you as an owner. So not just earning commissions, not just participating in a global bonus pool, but actually participating and creating another income source for you as we share the profitability with the company with key top leaders. And it has to be merit-based, because that's the only fair way to do it, is have it merit-based, not title-based, but merit-based. And then also key employees. I want the employees, even the one that's picking up and answering the phone calls in the customer service or member support, I want them to also feel that sense of ownership. And I don't know if you guys have seen it. If you haven't seen it or heard about it, I think you should, because it's something that it was inspiring for me as we were putting the company together. It's Giabelli yogurt or something. I don't know if you guys have seen that. But the owner of that company took the company public and then gave ownership to each and every one of his employees. And it was so inspiring to watch these employees, from the manufacturing to the office staff, to all of them, break down in tears that they'd been working for this company for decades, and now they had a piece of ownership of it. And I guarantee you the loyalty that buys, the work, the productivity, they're already seeing it. And me personally, I will never buy another yogurt because of that story. And that's what I really want to create here at the M Network. Carrie and I and all of the others and on the team and all of our top leaders, that is our understanding. That is our belief, that we want to make sure that we're not building this just, building this to see what's going to happen. We're building this because this is our retirement plan. We're building this because this is our future. We're building this because it's our legacy. And most importantly, we're building this because we want to make a difference, and we believe that we have a better way.
Ryan, if you think what the 5 or 6 founders of M, what fire in the belly they must have to want to go out and build this enterprise, if you can leverage that by having 1,000 owners or 10,000 owners or 100,000 owners, can you imagine the motivation, the continuity, the stick-to-itiveness, the retention of business? All of those things are going to go right through the roof. It's never been done before. This is the very first time I think anybody has ever attempted such a thing in network marketing. And, just to give you an indication, we've been at it for about 3.5 weeks now. comparing our first month's income with our previous business, our first check was $63. 183 was our second check. 350 was our third check. But we had 5.5 years of consecutive monthly increases, and that topped out at over $2.5 million of income, with 700,000 distributors scattered in all 50 states and 45 foreign countries.
Wow.
Our first month's check with M looks like it's going to be minimally 35 times greater than our first check with our previous business. And it's just kind of mind-boggling. If that rate of growth can be maintained going forward, it kind of boggles the mind what the possibilities are.
Absolutely. And you know, having worked very closely with you in that previous adventure and stuff, that you know, I think a lot of people look at that $2.5 million a year income and think, wow, that's fantastic. And it was, but the thousands of individuals and families, that 700,000 people around the world, lives benefiting, right? And that's fantastic. And that's what we want here. And that's the reason why I believe that 1 million thousandaires is not only achievable, but that's our first goal, you know, and that's where we're focused at, is hitting that 1 million families around the world earning $1,000 or more. And right now in the United States, and I know that we've got people calling in from other countries on this call, but they just barely came out with the statistic that over 90% of Americans today could not afford a $400 emergency without a credit card. Mm-hmm. Over 90% of Americans. And I believe that as we do this and as we partner and we create those types of incomes that you're talking about, that we're going to create the millionaires. We're going to change people's lives. And like you said, it's not because it's part of somebody else's company. It's our company. It's all of our companies.
Yeah. Well, when you talk about creating 1,000 or 1 million thousandaires, as it were, would most likely make this far and away the biggest network marketing company in the history of mankind. And I think all of these things that we're talking about here, giving everyone on this call an opportunity to become an owner, an opportunity to think big and take this thing to the moon, is going to be astounding. And we're just very excited to be a part of it. And we're very excited that you are in a leadership position to influence the outcome here. And it takes an unusual characteristic, unusual quality of individuals to build a company like this. You know, if you take a look, I don't know how many of you have ever read the book Build to Last, but that book talked about level 3 leaders. Level 3 leaders are like the CEO of Walgreens. Who is that? Nobody knows. You know, who is the president of Switzerland, for example? Nobody knows. Nobody cares. You know, they cut ribbons and, you know, do things like that. But level 3 leaders don't call attention to themselves. They call attention to the people that have done the work, that have built the business. And to have a company based on that idea is revolutionary.
Yeah, and I now you're going to get me emotional, Sherman. But I know how hard each and every one of you work. I know how hard each and every one of you put your heart and soul and your relationships and everything into your businesses. And I feel like it's not just our goal, but I believe it's our responsibility as a company. And I believe it's our responsibility as human beings. I believe it's our responsibility as influencers to make sure that we're creating the vehicle for all of you guys to create that ownership, to create that opportunity to create the legacy. And I believe that with leaders like you and all of these leaders, I mean, I could go on and on. There's 3 pages, 4 pages on my computer of individuals that I can go through here and just name off names. And I believe that we're attracting the quality of leaders that we're attracting to this company because they're tired of the hype and smoke and mirrors. I believe that they're looking for integrity, they're looking for substance, and they're looking for an opportunity to get not just a commission check and to have life-changing products, but to have a piece of that pie, to be able to have a piece of the legacy and to be able to pass that on. This isn't something that is only earmarked for a select few. This is earmarked for everybody, and it's something that I want to pass on for generations and generations to come.
Well, there's an old adage that says the speed of the leader determines the rate of the pack. And all of us have an opportunity to set an example and make this thing grow and become more successful than any other company in the history of network marketing. And I think that that's going to happen with this company. So get your inventory in order and
yeah,
let Fred clean up a little issues here and there.
Yes, sir.
And
yes, sir.
We're all looking forward to that pure mangosteen product that's also just around the corner, so I understand.
Yes.
And
yes.
It's nice to have someone of his caliber. I don't know how many of you heard him speak last night at the open house that you had, but Fred talked about his evolution going from a medical doctor to becoming more concerned with nutritional items. And when it occurred to him that he had been writing 40 prescriptions a day for 12 years, it kind of hit him, in the face like a brick wall. How many people had adverse effects from that, as opposed to what we could do with nutrition? And so here's a guy with a big heart that is in the right place at the right time, not quote unquote just for the money, but to attract somebody like that to M was an extraordinary thing, and it gives us instant credibility. So I want to congratulate you for that, Brian.
No, thank you. And so you were touching on from a product standpoint. It's our goal and belief that we need to have the products to always have the best opportunity for you guys. Not just today, but for many years to come. And so Fred is already making some fun changes and some exciting things to existing formulas. But he's already got so many fun and crazy, exciting ideas that we're already going into R&D. I've got some samples showing up at the office on Monday and some different things. And so it's so fun to be able to see when you have people that are excited about life, that have that many years of experience and that broad area of experience and study and understanding of products and ingredients and not even just products and ingredients and formulations, actually technology. We were very fortunate to capture the RDT technology right from the get-go with Paula Morrison, who's a 27-year food scientist veteran. And that's exclusive to us here at the M Network. But Dr. Templeman introduced us to already 2 new technologies right now. A technology, there's some really incredible ingredients in the world that are really hard to put into production because of the way that they taste. And he's got this technology that basically makes them virtually tasteless and yet still effective. And so there's so many fun and exciting things that are going to be coming down the pike from that perspective. And you threw out the challenge or the gauntlet that, we better make sure that we have the inventory with you as you guys are heading down. We just cut a PO for another batch of products. And I looked at the PO and I was like, that was bigger than our initial investment started the company, and now we're cutting POs that big. And so it's fun, it's exciting, we're up to the challenge. And I always tell people, if you want to crawl, we'll crawl with you. If you want to walk, we'll walk with you. If you want to run, we'll run with you. But if you want to fly, we're certainly going to fly with you as well. And so we're ready for it.
Well, it's extraordinarily exciting to see what you put together, to learn about the desire for you to have the members become the principal shareholders of the company. That's extraordinarily exciting, and not one company that I've ever been with in 32 years ever made such an offer. And I think just as Uber and Lyft and some of these other companies have gone from obscurity to multi-billion dollar enterprises, this is going to have precisely the same impact here at M.
I believe that, not just because of the products, not because of the pay plan, not because of the culture, but because of the members that we've attracted thus far. And again, I just like we started out the call with gratitude. Words will never be able to express my gratitude to the amazing leaders that we have attracted to this company and all that you guys have done for us up to this point. You know, I always say that words are not going to be able to tell it. So we're just going to have to show you again and again and again how much we love and appreciate you guys. And like you said, a big part of that is having that equity and having that ownership in the company and in the future of this company.
Yeah. Well, I want to share a little story from Texas. Since I'm in Texas right now, there's an old saying in Texas, all hat and no cattle. That is the way the company that we used to be with, we're the best at that, the very best. All hat and no cattle. You guys have a small hat, but you're going to have a lot of cattle.
Nice.
So
nice.
With that, I basically concluded my remarks, and if you have anything else to say and wrap up, we've gone a little bit over time, but we're going to get this circulated widely to use as a recruiting tool.
Nice. Well, I would just like to, again, I just like to say for those of you that are taking a sneak peek at this, you know, I would strongly encourage you to get back with the person who was sharing this with you because they saw something in you. And I know how much of an effort that takes to actually put yourself out there and share something like this with somebody. But please get back with the person who shared it with you. I know where this company is going. I know what we've accomplished up to this point. But I've never been more excited about a group of individuals and a group of leaders that have assembled to create a legacy company than I have right now, right here with the M Network. So thank you, Sherman, and thank you, AJ. I absolutely love and appreciate it, and God bless each and every one of you. Thank you.